held in moisture and protected the roots from the heat. Looking at her healthy crop kept her mind off the fact that she and Rhys were going to be desperately late. 20 minutes later, she followed him off the highway onto a less crowded secondary road, a back way home. 5 minutes after that, they parked the trucks by the processing buildings behind the big tasting room. Rhys had already claimed one of the golf carts the family used to get around. She slid in next to him, and they took off toward the center of the property. Bellapre Winery and the surrounding land had been in the Barcelona family for nearly 60 years. Rhys and his siblings were third generation. The original main house had been updated several times. When Rhys and Mackenzie had married, Barbara, Rhys's mother, had suggested they build themselves a house close to hers, rather than commute from town. Eager to stay in the good graces of her new mother-in-law, Mackenzie had agreed. A large 2-story home had been built. Barbara and Mackenzie had decorated every room. The act of choosing everything from light fixtures to doorknobs, cementing their affection for each other. A few years later, Stephanie, the second of Barbara's 4 children, had gotten a divorce and moved back home with her 2 kids, requiring another house to be constructed. When the youngest of the 3 girls had married, the last house had been added. Only Lori, the middle daughter, still lived in the original home. All 4 houses faced a huge central courtyard. Mexican pavers were shaded by vine-covered pergolas. The extended family used the space for big dinners and as a kids' play area. If one of the women baked cookies, a cookie flag was hung out the front door, inviting anyone to stop by. At Christmas, a large tree was brought in from Wishing Tree, and for the annual summer solstice party, dozens of long tables were brought in to seat the 200 or so guests. Rhys swung the golf cart behind the large main house, circling counterclockwise. Normally, he would cut across the courtyard, but with all the party preparations, he had to go the long way. He pulled up at the rear entrance to their house, and they dashed inside. Mackenzie paused to unlace her boots and left them in the mudroom. Rhys did the same. They raced up the stairs together, separating at the landing to head to their individual ensuite bedrooms. Once in her bathroom, she started the shower. Thankfully, she'd already picked out the dress she would wear. She raced through a shower. After she dried off, she wrapped her hair in a towel and dug out the scented body lotion Rhys had given her a couple of years ago. Why anyone would want to smell like coconut and vanilla was beyond her, but he liked it. She walked into the large closet and opened her underwear drawer. To the right were all the sensible bikini panties she usually wore. To the left were the fancier ones for special occasions. She chose a black pair and slipped them on, then went to the second drawer and looked for the matching push-up bra. When it and the pads were in place and doing the best they could with her modest curves, she pulled on a robe and returned to the bathroom. After plugging in her hot rollers, it took her only a few minutes to apply eyeliner and mascara. She was flushed from the day working outside, so she didn't bother with any other makeup. Her hair took a lot longer. First, she had to dry the dark red shoulder-length waves. Then she had to curl them. While the rollers were in place, she searched for a pair of black high-heel sandals that wouldn't leave her crippled by the end of the night. Those found, she opened her small jewelry box and pulled out her wedding set, sliding both the engagement ring and the wedding band into place on her left hand. Diamond stud earrings followed. She'd barely stepped into her sleeveless black dress when Rhys walked into the closet, fully dressed in black slacks and a dark gray shirt. She sighed when she saw him. "See? You have it so much easier than me."
"Yes, but in the end, you're more beautiful. That should be worth something."
"I'd rather have the extra time." She turned, presenting him with her back. He pulled up the zipper, then bent to collect her shoes. They retreated to her bathroom and together began removing the curlers. "We're late," Mackenzie said, catching sight of his watch. "Your mom is going to be all snippy."
"She'll be too busy welcoming her guests."
The last of the curlers was flung onto the counter. Mackenzie fluffed her hair, then pointed to the bedroom. "Retreat," she said, reaching for the can of hairspray. Rhys ducked to safety. She sprayed the curls into submission before running into the bedroom to escape the death cloud. Rhys was on the bench at the foot of the large bed. She sat next to him and quickly put on her shoes. "Done," she said, pausing to reacquaint herself with the seldom-used skill of walking in heels. She grabbed her husband's wrist. 7:15. "Barbara's going to kill us."